right, good morning, everybody. Today's gonna be pretty exciting, man. We got Sean Nugent as a guest today. All right, Sean, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
Good, man. I'm excited to have you on here. You know
Excited
what I
to be
mean?
here.
Yeah.
Always. It's
Well,
always good to talk to you.
it's my wife might not say the same thing, man. You know.
Hey, whoa. I'm not touching that with a 10-foot bolt.
But anyways, man. Well, welcome, man. Kind of want to just give a little bit of background for people about you. How long you been in insurance?
This month marks 2 years exactly. The first year I did absolutely nothing though. Like nothing.
Why nothing? What did you do?
So I got my license and I was drawn to it, and I went through, found a team, great team. I can't speak enough about the leadership over there. I just wasn't in a mindset of doing what needed to be done the way that team was running their business.
Yeah.
And there was a time difference too. Like at the beginning, I was on the East Coast, they were on the West Coast, and as a new agent with half the day going by, and I wasn't willing to shift my schedule. So that year was just wasted. I sold two policies. I spent thousands of dollars in leads, didn't dial them properly. I wasn't listening and doing what I was being told to do. I was taking my hard head and doing, what I knew how to do, and it didn't work. So last year was a little bit different, came in, adopted what leadership was telling me to do, and, it was a completely different year.
Yeah. That's definitely the formula, right? Listening to people that have done it to help you get to where they're at, right? That makes sense. Now, one of the things that I find is super unique about you and your wife, Rachel, is that you guys really took on the work from home to a whole nother level. Like most people that may see this probably don't understand what I mean, but basically you guys move around the United States all year round, right?
Yeah, for the most part. Aside from the last couple months, we kind of found a spot that we liked and parked it for a little bit and focused on some work and some health stuff. But yeah, we travel full time in a fifth wheel RV and go where the wind takes us.
So,
or where the girls figure out where they want to go.
So for you that don't know, Sean is surrounded by women just like myself. I have 4 daughters. He has 2. So whatever the girls vote to go, that's where Sean goes. Yeah.
Even the dog's a girl.
Yeah. So I want to talk about that, man. What's it like to, live in a fifth wheel and travel around and see all the different places within the U.S.?
It's great. I mean, it allows us to really tailor our life and, focus on what we've identified is the most important thing to us, and that's experiences. We live small because, it gives us the ability and the opportunity to get into places where, that vacation might be too expensive.
So what about schooling for the kids? How do you guys tackle that?
Our kids have been homeschooled pre-COVID, actually. We had some issues with one of our daughters in public school, and Rachel and I sat down after a couple months and figured out this is what we're going to do. Back then it was a little bit different than it is now. Now the girls use an online program that's pretty close to self-guided. Rachel does most of the other guidance, and I kind of supplement when Rachel's got something going on that she can't get to, but they go through it. It's a program that I think we spend $100 a month for. It works and it's compliant with our home state's rules and regulations. So they do it, they knock it out. Our one daughter takes about 2.5 to 3 hours daily. Our other one takes about 3.5 to 4, and then they have the rest of their day to do whatever they want to do.
Congratulations on that, with you guys' success as far as, the whole overall family thing, man. I think since I met you and just seeing how much has changed for you and from the first day I met you to now, man, I think it's phenomenal for both of you and Rachel and your family.
Yeah, most of the kudos for that one need to go to Rachel. I don't do a lot with the school.
All right, man. Well, I want to kind of jump into what you do best, which is you're crushing mortgage protection, man. You do a great job of that. And I kind of want to just get into the particulars so people know exactly what it is that the system that you guys run, so that maybe they can adopt it for their schedule. So let's start off with your day. How do you start your day off?
we start our day off however the day starts. We don't have a morning routine.
Uh-huh.
I'm not waking up and meditating and working out. If we wake up at 6:30 and we go for a 5K, we wake up at 6:30 and we go for a 5K. If I wake up at 8 o'clock and quick feed the dog, and I've got a 9 o'clock, and that's what the morning looks like.
Okay.
We're a little different in that aspect. We kind of let the day dictate what we're going to do.
But you guys have a formula too, right? And I think that's something that people don't always see, is that you and your wife work together, right? So
100%.
Yep. So talk a little bit about that dynamics. How does it work? Who does what? How does it work?
Yeah, so I tackle all of the sales. Right now, when we started this, we didn't know who was going to do what. We knew we wanted to do it together. It was more of a me thing than Rachel. We were kind of in the transition of getting out of one of our businesses. We had just sold one of our businesses. Rachel was doing some side work, kind of part-time for a mortgage company. And we didn't know what we wanted to do. So I kind of took the lead on the sales thing, mainly because it's a weak point for me. I'm an introvert naturally. I do not like talking to people. I don't have a lot of conversations outside of things. And I was looking to step outside of my comfort zone and take another step up the ladder in life. So I kind of took front on that. And Rachel's really good at organization, time management, making sure I'm where I'm supposed to be when I'm supposed to be there. So Rachel does the majority of the back end, contacting clients for declines, follow-ups on, lapses in policies, getting information. I love foresters. They're awesome, but sometimes they ask for some crazy things on their applications.
Foresters is crazy. Yeah,
we don't do any electronic signatures except for DocuSign, and then you use DocuSign, and they're like, wait a minute, that doesn't work. So she handles that. You said what? Yeah, apparently American Amicable is no longer accepting DocuSign. So that's the stuff that she deals with. Exactly.
That doesn't make any sense.
No. And then she tracks the books, and everything else. Every other little nook and cranny is stuff that we consult on. I mean, we have probably, there's days where we have a dozen little meetings, and there's days where we have just 1 day or 1 hour where we knock everything else out, and we don't talk the rest of the day except for life stuff. We don't talk about work at all. So
yeah. All right, man. So let's talk about your system, right? What type of leads do you guys run? Do you run new, aged? How does that work for you guys?
So right now it's new mortgage mailers, aged mortgage mailers, and Facebook leads.
Now, let's say it's a Facebook lead. How do you guys operate with those?
So we haven't really learned what we're doing with the Facebook leads yet, because we're just kind of dipping our toes in.
Okay. Talk more about the lead itself and what you've run into.
So far, there's a lot of people that I've noticed that will fill the information out, but they're not self-booking. So we're really definitely reaching out to those people as fast as possible. I feel like if they are there and they're writing you have a few seconds to get back with them, because the longer you wait, I feel they're done buying,
right.
done. They have no idea anymore what they want. So fast, as soon as you can get to them.
Yeah, that's absolutely what we found too, is that as soon as they fill it out, you're contacting and calling them right away. And not just that, you're not the only person they're filling out stuff. They're looking at a bunch of different Facebook ads and they're filling them all out. So the sooner you get to them, the sooner you beat all the other agents that are trying to get to them. So I definitely think that's the formula. I always call. I don't really use the CRM. I've noticed that is not as effective. I use it as a backup. So if I call and they don't answer me, it's still running the campaign to catch up with them. So I think you're absolutely right in that one, Rachel.
I think the other thing is because they're already looking. You gotta remember, Facebook is an algorithm. So they clicked on one. Facebook is like, oh, you're clearly looking for this. Let me show you more. So just because they saw your ad and they clicked on your ad doesn't mean there's not 6 or 7 other agents that they're getting pushed into that algorithm. So they're already saying
that already got taken care of by somebody else.
Yeah, these you have to be on top of them. So if you're running Facebook, you need to be very, you have to have the app on. I have a notification come to my watch. So every time someone writes us on the CRM, I have a notification that goes off. I don't miss them. I see it, I stop what I'm doing, and I go answer that message.
So talk a little bit more about your role within your guys' team dynamics.
I mean, I do it all. Minus sell.
Okay.
That's the one thing I don't do.
So talk about it. What's your day when you start your day? What's sort of the first thing that you look at when you come on?
First thing I look before I even get out of bed, I check my bank account.
Okay.
That's my first thing I do every morning.
Why?
Bank account, then weather.
Why?
So I'm prepared. I start the
How?
day knowing what I got paid, what I didn't get paid, where we're at financially, and it sets a goal because every morning I'm looking to make sure it's higher. You want it to be higher, right? Everybody wants it to be
Right.
higher. And being financially aware, I think is huge in this business because we are dealing with a lot of money, and it can come quick, but it can also go away quick.
Yeah, very.
So
It's
really,
you can kind of lose sight of the value of money in this business because you can make so much so fast, right?
you gotta get up and check your numbers.
And if you're not disciplined, you could spend it just as fast as it comes in or more.
Yeah. You could be like, I'm making so much. I'm making $8,000, but I'm spending $7,000 of it. So what are you doing with that extra $1,000 to propel you forward?
You buy stuff you never knew you needed. Oh, that's so funny. Yeah. Well, so let's talk about the back end of the business. I think it's a really important thing for people to know, right? How do you guys keep track? You know, do you guys use Google Sheets or what? What do you do to keep track of people you sat and sold and whether it paid or not?
You want to answer or you want me to? Sat and sold, there's the blue ribbon bar at the top of the CRM. I don't know if everybody knows what we're talking about. The blue bar where it's like not interested or canceled or no-showed. That's one of the ways we're tracking our numbers. Is every single time we have anybody that scheduled an appointment and they didn't show up, or he sat with them but they weren't interested, like you have to make sure you disposition those calls every single time.
Okay. And then how else do you utilize the CRM that you think is different from a lot of people? Because I know you guys are really big on that. I mean, I've sat in meetings with you and Samir about needing certain updates to make it even better, and a lot is derived from you two.
Go ahead. I think you.
Yeah, so Rachel uses it. What she does is she actually goes through and she kind of uses it as a filter. So she'll let it work, and the first one will go out, and the second one will go out, and then the third one will go out. And if nothing is going on, she'll let me know, and I'll dial them. And then the other thing that happens too is she'll get 7 or 8 people message her at the same time, or I'll message somebody, and if they respond back, but they didn't get a response, sometimes, because it happens, things are going to happen. You're going to have someone call when you're sending a message to somebody else. Rachel goes back through all of the people that are in them, and she makes sure they got a response back. And she'll pick up probably 1 or 2 people a day that either she was writing or I was writing, and one of our daughters was like, hey, I need help with this math problem. Or
they got missed.
Exactly. It's the same thing that happens when you text me. You text me and I start texting you back, and I have a client call me and I put the phone down, I set it to my left, and I never I never hit send. And then you're like, well, why didn't you ever text me back, Sean? I'm like, I thought I did. It happens in the CRM too. So Rachel goes through with her downtime and makes sure that she hits those. And then I go through and make sure that, ones that have said something that doesn't really fit into, the normal thing, or they just straight called, like they saw the message and they called back, I'll hit those and I'll call them. Yeah. Lots of activity. It's
the name of the game is activity, right?
100%. Your activity, your bank account is 100% reflection of your activity in this business.
How many calls do you think you make a day on top of the CRM text messages to fill up your day with appointments?
My number is not going to be typical. Probably
you're running new mortgage, so that makes it a little bit easier. Yeah.
Yeah, probably between 30 and 50, depending on the day. Roughly.
Yeah, that's still pretty high. Yeah.
If I'm starting out, like if I'm looking at myself a year ago, I'm doubling that minimum, like 100 minimum, because you've got to create that activity, and you're just,
a year ago you were running mostly aged, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. And now you're sprinkling both. It's crazy how you kind of level up, right? Because new mortgage costs a little bit more, so you kind of run age in the beginning. You generate cash flow. Hopefully, people, you're listening. You're putting money in a separate account just for leads. That's what I do. I put in until I get up to 10,000, I don't stop putting money in there. 10,000 is kind of like I know I'm good. If I got a couple of bad batches of leads, I'm still really good. There's no really issue, right? I didn't feel completely comfortable till I had 10 in that account, and always have money, a percentage of my checks going into that sub account. The other thing
That's exactly what we do.
Yeah, the other thing I always do too, and I think it's important too, is when you're brand new, the way I look at it is my week, the first sale I make pays for the leads I just bought. The second sale I make pays for next week's leads. The third sale pays for bills. Fourth sale is fun money. And if you have that kind of mentality every week, it becomes like compounding interest, because next week I start all over. Even though my second sale bought this week, I just jumped into leads, I still start fresh, brand new, and say this first sale is going to go to the leads I just bought. Second sale is going to go for next week. So it kind of compounds and it builds up that money in that sub account fast. And then that way you always have money for leads. So it's something that I started doing when I first got here, and that really helped me get into a much more comfortable position with purchasing leads. And back then we came on board and there was really no help. So I had to sell myself a policy to have enough money to buy leads to start off, right? It was a make or break it then. Now we have such a great culture and system of people, and, even if you want lead assistance programs, we have those now, which is cool. But when I started, we didn't have none of that. So it was a make or break it kind of situation. And it was that kind of formula that helped me to build up enough in the coffers that I always felt comfortable with leads. But what would you guys say for you guys? At what point did you get comfortable, and how did you guys get yourself there as far as purchasing leads and having that ability of freedom, financial freedom?
So we started out a little bit different than I think the majority of people in this business. We've run businesses before. We've had a couple. We've sold a couple. We've helped other people run other businesses. We had an amount of money that we came into this business with that we were, set on, using. I burned through most of that in the first year. So the second year, it was kind of like Rachel was like, "Listen, you better get it this time, because I'm not going to keep seeing this account that we've got here for this kind of
dwindling
thing, go down, but nothing come back into it." I'm like, okay, cool. So we got to the point where we said we're gonna do this for 3 months. We're gonna look at a target. When we started out, like I said, a little bit different. Rachel said $1,000 a week, so we started out with 4,000, 12,000 for the 3 months. And following the system that was there, month one took care of that.
Oh wow!
This was last May. Month one took care of that. So, and we just kind of rolled through it the rest of the time and made sure every month, no matter what happens, our leads are taken care of. We went out. We got a new specific credit card that is points heavy, and we put all of our leads on there, and those points paid for our flight to Vegas coming up at the end of the month. And that's how we run our points.
Which credit card?
We did one of the Chase ones. I don't remember what it's called, but we're getting ready to switch over. There's another one that's a little better point system. One of the Capital ones. Capital One Venture X is what we're getting ready to switch to.
How do you guys manage and balance marriage, parenting, and being business partners?
Good question.
Great question.
Very, very good question. Marriage is something that we work on constantly, daily, and sometimes it's hourly, and sometimes it's by the minute. We've been married 16 years.
Wow! Congratulations, guys.
Little spin cycles, exactly. 16 years. We got married very fast. We met in March. Married in June. So we only knew each other for 3 months, and we were hell-bent on making sure, listen, we're doing this. We love each other. We're going to be best friends, and we're going to do everything together. We're not going to do anything apart. That's kind of where we wanted to go. I always tell everybody, open book. We've done counseling. We've done therapy. We read marriage books together. We read marriage books apart. There are plenty of days where I'm working and Rachel is nowhere near me because we got in a fight over something.
You being stupid? Let's just say that.
Yeah, as little as how someone responded to a lead. And when you're around each other 24/7, there are going to be times where things get a little bit more heated than normal. So we just say fuck off, and we separate. You know, you can bleep that on YouTube. And we separate. She works from the front, or I'll take the truck and I'll go sit in the Starbucks parking lot and run appointments from Starbucks parking lot. With this, dude, I mean, you can be anywhere. I've sold policies outside of, you know, Fenway Park and on the beach, so it doesn't matter. If I need to take some time, I take some time. Parenting, the majority of parenting, I default to Rachel. I'm a little heavier handed, a little stricter. So Rachel puts me in check on that. And then business partners, we had a discussion a long time ago. Everything is 50-50, 100% of the time, but there will be times where she loses and I lose. And it's not a this for that. It's not a, oh, well, you lost last time or you won this time. It's a what makes the most sense. And if it takes 2 or 3 times to get there, then it takes 2 or 3 times to get there, and we go off of that. And sometimes we just default. I'll say, hey, you know what? This
basically no tallies, right? What you're saying is nobody's keeping a tally. That's smart. That's absolutely right.
We did that when we started our marriage. Oh, you know, you did this and it failed.
Dean and I have found that because we're just like you guys, we work together as a team, that it's actually the business has brought us closer together because you know, you're always around each other, so you learn different skill set on how to deal with your problems at a much faster, quicker, more efficient way. Because if you don't, then you're off track, you know, and then not only are you off track with your relationship, but your business as well. So there's no time for, you know, the normal, I would say, BS where you could, you know, focus on tit for tat, things like that. That's not going to get you to a more efficient of conflict resolution. Would you guys agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. Like you can't sit here and hold grudges. You can't sit here and fight. And not only, I think with being in business together, you're invested even more into each other and into the success. Yeah. Like it's not just success of your marriage, it's success of your business, and you have to make that work. So
what do you think? You guys have owned a couple of different businesses together, Rachel. What formulas have you guys used from your other businesses that you have brought here? What did you learn from those that you brought here to this business?
Yeah, you have to have a system and process for everything. Like we've done a few different businesses, and the system and the process and how you get from point A to point B may vary a bit for the business, but every business has to have those steps. Step 1, step 2, step 3. And this is how you do it every single time. Because if you don't, you're going to miss something. You're not going to put out a quality product, or you're not going to have a successful call because you don't have those steps in place.
And then for those guys that are here that are kind of new either to our system or new to insurance, what's 3 things that they should be focused on when they're brand new coming here?
You want that? You want this?
Yeah, I'll take this one. First and foremost is always be present. You can't do anything without being present. If you're not here on a daily basis, it's going to be a lot harder to find success. If you're doing this part-time, your part-time needs to be full-time. When you have that extra time, you need to be sitting down and watching sales videos. You need to be sitting down and watching the Monday morning call. You need to be, you know, asking Mark Helton what he does in his downtime to get better. And then when you are doing it part-time, it needs to be full-time for that part-time. Otherwise, part-time won't work. I've seen so many people come in the last 2 years say, oh, I'm going to do this part-time, and I don't see them anymore. If you're doing this full-time, treat it like a 9 to 5. It really is that easy. If you treat it like a 9 to 5, yes, Mark. Yes, you, Mark. If you treat it like a 9 to 5, you're not going to fail because you're putting in that 9 to 5. But don't sit there from 9 to 5 and be on Facebook for 7 hours. If you're on Facebook for 7 hours, that means you only got 2 hours of work in, and there's nothing there.
Yeah.
It's a very, very simple business that can make you a lot of money fast. In our specific group, the second thing is don't deviate from the system. The system works. It's proven. If I can take the system and do the system and compete and produce with, you know, what I consider to be great salesmen and great people in this group, then it works. I'm 100% behind it. I can't say anything bad about it. It's easy to learn. It's easy to duplicate. But you have to put the time into it. You have to put the energy into it. If you're not going to spend the time and the energy, it's not going to work. And you have to get behind it. The third thing is feedback. Feedback, feedback, feedback. If you can get Paul to listen to you present, if you can get Mark to listen to you present, if you can get Micah to listen to you present, if you can get Samir to appear and give you some advice, take the feedback and implement the feedback. Don't just hear it. Take the feedback and implement it. I have notes, like, you know, you can't see it, notes from people who just drop me little things. Like Anthony Amaker the other day, I asked him, I said, you know, man, I'm at a year now. You're at like 4. I think he's on year 4. I'm like, what would you tell yourself at year 1? He goes, be quick to make decisions, but slow to change things. I was like, holy shit.
He's the guru, man.
Right? And it kind of opened my eyes, because I'm sitting there and there's a couple things that I've been struggling with, and I'm like, be quick to make decisions. I need to make that decision a lot quicker. So yeah, show up, put the energy into it, go live, be present. Don't sit around with your camera off. Nobody's going to talk to you. Turn your camera on. People are going to ask you questions. It's a great group here. No one's out to get you. No one's going to make fun. We might make fun of you.
Yeah, I'm going to make fun of you. Yeah.
Might make fun of you. But everybody's doing it from a good place, because everybody here, we're all sitting at the same table. There's plenty. Braden, I'll make fun of you. We'll talk about that later, Braden, while you yell at me for something. There's a big giant table here, and there's plenty of food for everyone to eat.
Absolutely.
And then everybody's constantly passing the food, and that food is the knowledge. It's the script work. It's the training. It's the help with the leads. I ran into a situation the other day where I couldn't get to an appointment because we had something going on with the girls. I had a client calling me, and I posted in the Discord. I said, hey, listen, can someone take it was Oklahoma appointment at 6 p.m. Micah spoke up. I sent him the lead. He calls me like an hour and a half later. He goes, hey, just closed it for this and this. Here's your 30% take. It funds this day. And I'm like, good stuff, man. And where you're going to get support like that, but you're going to get it if you put yourself out there. You have to follow the script. You have to follow the training process, and you have to put yourself out there. You can hit on me anytime you want.
What'd she say?
I wanted to add to that really quick. Shit. Now I don't remember what I was going to add to it again. Damn it. Okay, I got it. Remembered. Okay. Just took me a second. Sorry, got a lot going on. So one of our businesses before was to set up systems and processes for other businesses. That was kind of what we had to do. So I had to come into this business, I had to learn this business, and I had to figure out the best way to do this business and help this other owner get from point A to point B.
Right.
Stepping into this place, and you guys already have the system and process. As someone who builds systems and processes, it's already here for you. Like, there's not a lot I would change. What is here is going to make you successful if you follow the steps.
And that's thanks to, Samir, Harold, Anthony Amaker, even Roy, who's not here much. Man, a lot of people, we put in a lot of hard work in the very beginning, and it's really made it beautiful. Zach Bledsoe. I mean, there's a lot of names that I'm sure I'm going to forget that really helped, put the foundation of this. And then the staff here is amazing. Everyone from Carlos, Nihad, Braden, Laura, Ellie, and Andrea, who, help us create Monday Morning Call with Paul. Man, they're just phenomenal people. And it's really not fair to all the other agencies, because it's really lucky that we have so many good people that, care about what they're doing and putting in the time and effort, because everybody's doing more than what I would say they're getting paid for, especially on the staff side. They're putting in a lot of work. And I think it's really cool that we have such a big group of people and everybody gets along, because most companies I've ever been to, there's always somebody that isn't getting along with somebody, and there's always this friction. But it's crazy. It's like we're lucky in a lot of ways. I feel blessed, you know what I mean? And I'm just like, take it for what it is. It's great to have. And then, sorry for all you other agencies out there, man. Join ours.
If you're new here, I don't think you realize it yet, but you're sitting on a gold mine. Like,
it's crazy. Super lucky.
Incredible.
Yeah.
You're not going to find what we have anywhere else.
Well, thank you guys, Rachel, for coming on here at such short notice. Sean, appreciate you guys both so much. I can't thank you guys enough for hopping on here. And I think the inspiration that you give people, as a couple working together is phenomenal. I know working with you guys directly myself, but I've learned a lot from you, but I've also felt like you guys are such an open people that you guys, share anything, that knowledge that and I think you don't come across people like that. So really appreciate you guys.